Hello, my friend. Stay a while and listen.
What's going on, guys? It's Filthy and I'm back with another video. Today we're looking at the Savage set, so the Frenzy Savage Barb. This is going to be the starting set for Season 22. Now, this really shines as a push build. We did 108 on the PTR with only 800 Paragon. The character wasn't completely maxed out, so maybe 109, maybe 110. It's very strong for solo push. Speeds, I don't like it quite so much. It is possible to do 90s in 3.5 minutes with 800 Paragon, but you need to get very lucky with the pylons, and often it's straying into the 4.5-5 minute range, so I would be doing whirlwinds for speeds and whirlwind for keys, but for solo pushing, this is a pretty nice change of pace. And we get this for free, so we may as well go through it and show you what to do with it. Before we do though, anybody who's new, welcome. Do consider subscribing if you enjoyed Diablo 3. I've got plenty more guides on the way. And as always, thumbs up brightens my day, and come see me on Twitch, come say hello, and yeah, maybe we'll chat about some Barb. So what do we get out of our Hadrigs? Well, on the 2-piece for the Savage set, we get double the effectiveness of shouts. This is super handy. Barb has got some really good shouts, so it's a great 2-piece. We also get double damage if we get off a Fear, Freeze or Stun. We get a Stun on the Rune on Frenzy, so that's Method 1. The Azrath Sword, which we're going to take, will do a freeze on a up to 25% chance. Again, pretty nice. Then we have an on-demand freeze with Furious Charge. So again, when we Furious Charge into stuff, it is frozen. So we do get a nice bit of damage out of this 2-piece. Not consistent, not up 100% of the time, but it is quite nice. 4-piece. Frenzy reduces damage by 6% per Frenzy stack, and it now lasts twice as long. With the Bastions revered in the cube, we get 10 Frenzy stacks, that is 60% damage reduction. The area of effect is not great on here, it's not enough to do wave clear, but again, it is slightly helpful. 6-piece Frenzy deals 1000% damage per stack, so 10 stacks, 10k damage. Now, Undisputed Champion, we're going to get every rune on Frenzy, up to 400% modifier on here, again, pretty nice. Depth Diggers, 100% extra damage for primary skills, obviously pretty cool. And then the main hitter here is going to be the Oathkeeper, so primary skills attack 50% faster and deal up to 200% extra damage. We can put the boss down super quick with this because of the crazy attack speed, and we combine that with Stricken and it just absolutely pops off. Other modifiers, we have got the Convention of Elements. You can pick whatever rune you want on your braces and on your amulets because you get every rune on Frenzy. I just happen to have Cold on, but it does not matter. You can choose whatever. If this is physical, if it's fire, makes no difference. Just a nice pair of Mortix brace for obviously all the runes on Wrath of the Berserker when it is up. Unfortunately, it isn't perma uptime. We take Simplicity Strength Legendary Gem, so this gives us a damage to primary skills, also gives us a heal, which is pretty nice. We've got tons of sustain in this build, so provided we're not getting one shot, we've got a decent chance of fighting our way out. But again, the lack of perma uptime on Wrath of the Berserker means that we can be CC'd. If you get CC'd, you're pretty effed in this build. The Travel's Pledge and Compass Rose gives us a damage modifier when we stand still, which is nice, 100%. As we move around, the kind of toughness slides up to 50%. So we elite snipe. This gives us more toughness when we're trying to find our next victim, and more damage when we stop to smack them over the head with the Frenzy, which is pretty good. Bandamite, 80% damage reduction after casting the Furious Charge for 8 seconds, so that's pretty good. Then we've got Furnace in the Cube for the extra elite damage. Now, I did play with Nems for a bit for the extra elites, but fighting 2 at once at 108 is super difficult, so I just thought it's better to just put them down faster, and then we'll worry about that later. COE, obviously spike damage, as we say, depending on whichever rune it is that you've got for Frenzy. And Stricken, I did use it, but in theory I probably could have got away with a powerful, but we're so single target focused, we attack so quick. This is one where you transition onto the Stricken, I think, an awful lot earlier. We want toughness gems in the chest and in the trousers, so all rest gems to boost up that elemental. And we also go for cooldown in helm. Again, we're looking to get back Wrath of the Berserker ASAP, so cooldown on your shoulders, well, that gloves, but cooldown on here and on here. Cooldown on your weapons is going to be pretty important as well. I would take it on both rings probably as well if I could get it, maybe even on the amulet, but probably you want socket, double crit and elemental on this. But as I say, you do your best, and realistically Whirlwind is still better at pushing, so I'm not sure how long you'll be playing this. Skills wise, I mean, this sword isn't necessarily essential. I would say it is definitely the most damage. There are a few other options, so again you can take something else like the burning axe here, echoing fury, something like that, but this just seems to be the best for deeps. Looking at the skills, Warcry Impunity, this shout is obviously doubled, so it's a ton of armor and a ton of all res, keeps us nice and tanky. Frenzy, every rune, the only ones I think that really matter are Vanguard for move speed, so 50% at max stacks, Smite because it gives us that chance to stun, so more damage on the 2-piece, and Maniac obviously because it just gives extra damage. These two, the two cold ones, don't really matter, but as I say, just match the element with your braces and you're good to go. Threatening Shout, Falter, enemies get 50% extra damage, obviously pretty handy. You want to time this with your COE cycle, so if you're on cold you want to be hitting this just before the cold cycle starts. Again, if you're doing physical, same goes, just before physical. So you need to learn this little rotation here, work out when it is you need to press this for maximum damage. Again, it's helpful if you've got Wrath of the Berserker up, it's helpful if you're in Ocular Circle, but I would literally be popping this pretty much in line with COE. Battle Rage, Swords to Plowshares. This gives us sustain again, so more life per hit when we hit with crits. In theory, you could swap this off, but again, sustain is quite important. So, you know, by all means, you can go Marauders for extra damage. You could try Ferocity to cover a bit more of the map. You could do the Bloodshed one for the crits, but again, you're only really stopping for elites, so this is of questionable value. So, yeah, this is what we had in the clear. Wrath of Berserker, Insanity. Amazing crit chance, attack speed, dodge chance, move speed, 50% damage. The lack of perma uptime really hurts though, because you get CC immunity when this is up. When you don't have it up, it's super easy to get frozen, and as I say, if you get frozen, you're gonna struggle. Furious Charge, Cold Rush, again this is just here for the freeze, and obviously the 80% damage reduction that we activate with this is really nice. Unable Kathos, we're pushing this Wrath of the Berserker cooldown by 30 seconds, just helps us get more uptime, makes it safer. Nerves of Steel, don't take this off, you can have a really bad time if you do. Ruthless, 40% additional damage to enemies below 30% health, again really ramps up that damage as you whack away with the Frenzy. And then Berserker Rage, additional damage at max Fury. Obviously we've got no Fury now, but as soon as you jump into the Rift, that pops up to full. So yeah, that is pretty much how it works. Now, in terms of playstyle, we'll talk a little bit about the 4-minute one. What are we missing off here? What are we missing? We're missing COE and Flavour of Time, aren't we? I must have used them on the Barb. Let's find them. 2 ticks. So guys, I'm back and I found my missing items. The stupid Crusader had them. I'll put up some stream footage doing 90s with this. It's a difficult speed build. The reason mainly is because we need to elite snipe, because we're going to take the Ingerm and reduce our skill cooldowns by 10 seconds. This is how we get around the map with the Furious Charge. Now, what this means, we've got to kill all the adds, which is obviously a little difficult with a single target skill. You've got to really be concentrating to make sure you get this up. Even when you do start zipping around the map, you need to then also remember to apply Frenzy for the 60% damage reduction. To squeeze Nems in, we've got to put the depth diggers on the character, so that means Rogue has to come in. So, I mean, we could maybe swap Flavour of Time and Convention for Traveller's Pledge and Compass Rose, but it's probably a bit of a muchness. And the double pylon speeds, or double pylon duration for the speeds is godly, because if you do get Conduit early, it is make or break, because the way the speeds work is the more you fill up the progress bar, the higher chance you've got of spawning a pylon. So obviously, doing a wave clear build, you pretty much get 3-4 pylons per speed rift, whereas for this it just takes ages, because if you don't get that speed pylon, you don't get that conduit or power, you know, it is quite hard to actually fill up the progress bar. We've had to put in Esoteric Alteration just to help again with the toughness. It is pretty squishy. Lack of perma uptime Wrath of Berserker is an issue. The Ingeum does help. Again, if you get good RNG, this is fine. You will do it in 3.5 minutes. If you get bad RNG, you can easily find yourself doing a 5-minute 90 with this. It's just how it is. So I would set Whirlwind up as soon as possible, but other than that, it's pretty much the same kind of stuff. You know, Frenzy hits really hard. It's just so single target focused. It does make speeding pretty inefficient. I mean, if you absolutely love it, by all means you can play it, but Whirlwind is definitely the way to go. I think also the Leap Quake, you know, we were doing 95s faster with Leap Quake than we were with this, so back of the queue for speeds for me, but that is in theory how you can do it. I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Savage, it's a really powerful start. It's just probably not as useful as some of the other starting sets. But other than that, I've been the Filthy Casual. I hope you're all staying safe. I'll be back with some more videos really soon. Take it easy. Peace.